Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Welcome again to another podcast on Talk Architecture, and I'm your host, Naziaty Muhammad Yaacob, and today's topic is a teaser on the topic of artificial intelligence in architecture. What is going to happen now with regard to artificial intelligence? Let us ask the expert. What is the future? What is the future for the architecture industry in the next 5 years? So some of the questions that we will ask Dr. Sam, who is going to be with us soon, very soon, on the 19th and 20th of October. We will publish part 1 and part 2 respectively. And for part 1, we will concentrate on the issue of education and what skills are essential in the area of artificial intelligence, and how will AI impact roles and responsibilities in the architecture, engineering, and construction industries. And this has to do with education as well as practice. And we shall also delve into how might AI impact on workflows and processes, as we know in the architecture practice, and reflecting in how architects were educated in architecture schools when they are in practice as a fresh graduate, entry level, mid-level, and senior architects. Everyone is concerned about how they would like to integrate AI into the workflows and processes, into the design process, the early inception stages, into the design development, and also the tender documentation, and in the final stages of construction. So how does AI figure in all this? Is it the monster that we're all afraid of? Because a lot of people are asking about the questions of whether their jobs will be around in the future, in the next 5 years, for example. A lot of people don't really concern with AI, but is that a problem? Will that be a problem later on if they are ignoring the impact of AI? We know that in the United States, for example, only about 65% of the architecture companies are small practices, and that they need to understand how that you could leverage AI into the operations and get better services done, because at the long term, maybe the costs would help them. There are also people like me who's skeptical about AI, but then I would, of course, facilitate the discussion, and forums on AI. And this is what we're going to do after we publish the first podcast or interview with episode 1 and 2 in the coming week. So other issues that we will deal with include what would the industry look like in 5 years in terms of practice and education, and what are the issues concerning the different roles in the teams. For example, in architecture practice, you have different roles. You have the in-house, the design team, the ones who are doing the drawings, the ones who are instructing, and how would they work? What synergy would need to happen for them to get AI to be leveraging the best way they can and cut down costs? And also is about labor shortages and how AI could assist with that issue. We even dealt with the issue of design and authenticity or originality of the design. there are some discussions on that for us to understand about the impact of AI in the years to come. And what is interesting, that also there is a skill that is needed to happen. And the skill is something which is a traditional skill that I reckon we need to go back to if we have not been doing that traditional skill, which is framing a problem. And although you can say frame a problem because you're using GPT or you're using the softwares like Perplexity and all that, what you need to find is also the right question to ask, which is framing a problem. And that is essentially what architects do, that they are challenged by the design problem and the complexities of a particular project. The project could be different types of buildings or different contexts. So they need to have these traditional way of approach where they could actually ask the right questions. And this time it is not the manual drawings or a bit of impression or a bit of manipulation. This is to do with knowing how to think and knowing what to get AI to do the work. It is not totally AI taking over architecture, for sure. But it is a concern if the profession and the universities are not embracing AI in the right way possible. So there is also the issue of validating the result when you get AI system going on and the outcome that you come out with. You need to able to validate the result. And who's validating is still human to human, not to human to AI. So at the end of the day, the control by the human being will make it possible to have the best solution to come out with. So this problem solving skill, in which designers do all the time, is needed to be stronger. Is needed to be the basis of it all, rather than waste people's time and energy. So AI system will help the architect, will help the architectural student. So this was some of the things that will be discussed, and you would want to know what Dr. Sam has to say. She is the president of YegaTech and very much someone who is assisting architecture companies to assimilate AI into their workflows and processes. Sam Zolfagharian, which holds a Ph.D., is also an AEC data and AI strategy consultant. Along with her team, YegaTech Consulting specializes in AI foundation and innovation training for architecture, engineering, and construction industry. And architects facing this rapid technological advancement, which is artificial intelligence, it is already here 5 years ago with the use of a lot of softwares and intelligence with our smartphones. So now it is arriving and is being embraced by some companies already in the architecture, engineering, construction industry. So there we go. We need to actually be able to reflect on how we adopted digital training and digital architecture earlier, the adoption of building information modeling or BIM and Revit and other softwares, and how it's now a common and easy thing to do in architecture praxis. And AI is just another tool for us to receive well and embrace. But why are we still asking questions about AI when we already done digital architecture? Is it the word intelligence? So, shall we say that there is something that is skeptical about it, in which there is anxiety in the adoption of AI with regard to the originality of the design, and it's not like a, shall we say, something that is generated virtually and has nothing to do with a thinking architect. So some of these are the questions that we need to address, and it will be addressed in the podcast that is coming up soon with Dr. Sam. And I'm so excited that you're going to listen to it and listen to the interviews that we have done, and we're excited for you. So thank you very much for listening to the teaser now today, and see you again.